Maybe I should stop eating first. Yeah, just don't hit the ladder, so don't hit my ladder. I don't think you realize the importance of you not hitting my ladder. Hello everyone, my name is Alicia Nicole with At The Clark, and I have a story for my hashtag Friday Fails Day. So, the other day I was texting my literal everything, Ashley, and talking to her about how much I miss her, and she reminded me of a story that I need to share with everyone that's living. So, it was around 6th or 7th grade, and it was really raining, like really hard in Thermo, and whenever it rains hard in Thermo, it floods, like completely, and we have like a lot of field at my house now, and well, my house in Thermo, and so whenever it rains, there's like, it creates like little ponds here and there. One of them is actually like a pretty sufficiently large pond. Well, we were like, why don't we like go out there and play in it? We got this bright idea. So we were walking in my garage and we have this huge tub of like sports equipment. It's huge. It's like this big, and we're like, hey, I think this was Ashley's idea, actually. I'm gonna blame Ashley for this. She's like, hey, why don't we like float in the pond with that? So we ask my mom, and I'm like, hey mommy, can we take all this stuff out of this container? And she's like, why? We're like, well, we really want to play in it in the pond because we know it'll float and it's gonna make the perfect boat, and like we just really want to float in the pond. She's like, Alicia, that's not gonna work. I'm like, okay, whatever, we won't do it. And then Ashley's like, dude, I think it'll work. We got all this stuff out of the box, which took like a long time, and we lugged this container. We had to both carry it. Like, I carried one side, she carried the other, down in my field, because it's a pretty long walk from the pond in my field to my house. And so we were like, whoa, we're off to see the wizard. And the whole time we kept like looking up at my house, like making sure my mom wasn't looking. Like, we're like, oh my god, I hope she doesn't see us. And I'm like, I was like, don't you think we need like a rowing device? Like, you know what, I'll take one for the team, I'll go in first. And she's like, I want to go in first. I'm like, no, I want to go in first. Get in the tub. She holds the tub at the water's shore, and I hop in, holding onto the sides, and I am so excited. Okay, I'm ready. So she pushes me in there, and then she's like, oh, here's a stick. Throws me a single stick. And I was just turning in circles. I was like, okay, Ashley, get in. She's like, oh, I have to take my shoes off. And I'm like struggling to keep myself afloat. And I'm like, I left my shoes on, just get in. Because I was so confident. I was so confident that I would not get wet. And so, and by the time she had her shoes off, it was too late. I was like, come on, Ashley, let's go, hurry up. I just lost the strength to continue rowing on both sides with a stick this big. I dip. I'm soaking wet. I come out of the water like, it's muddy water. And like, of course we didn't expect this result. And so she's like, dude, man, you need some help. She gets in there, she helps me up. And then we were so distraught that it took like 5 seconds of just standing there in silence. We were like, looking at the tipped over boat. The first thing that came to mind was, oh my god, my mom's gonna know, because I was drenched. And so then, so Ashley's drenched too, I mean from the waist down, trying to get in and get the boat out. So it was just really funny, and and then since her feet were wet, she didn't want to put her feet back into her shoes. And so we started our journey back. we walked. I dragged the bucket behind me. Ashley was like, ow, 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 everywhere. And her bare feet on thorns, rocks, snakes, probably, I don't know. And the whole time up there we were so sad and so upset that this is what happened. And I remember saying, oh my god, this is gonna be a funny story to tell one day. By the time we got to the house, my mom was like, what? She's like, you got in that pond, didn't you? And she's like, yep. I knew you would. I was like, I'm so sorry, Mommy. She had to get us clothes and we had to change in my garage. So Ashley had to go home in my clothes. Then we had to put all the stuff back into the bucket once it was dry. I've never felt so miserable though. Like the walk back up to the house. Like my thighs were rubbing together. My feet were hurting. I was having to carry this heavy container behind me. Like, why did we ever think that was okay? Or how did we ever even think that we wanted to do? Why would we want? I don't know. Shout out to Ashley for giving me that wonderful story to tell my grand sloths. Love you, Ash. The moral of the story is, well, it could be many things. It's either A, listen to adults when they tell you that something won't float. B, wear shoes that you can get wet whenever it's flooding outside. I would say if something takes too much effort and you don't see a good reason to do it, just don't do it. Just in case. You can never be too safe. Of course, my sincere supportive special shout out would be Ashley. So my goal of the week is just to stay away from large bodies of water if I don't have a sufficient floaty on hand, and or a rowing device. 2 of them preferably. Love you, bye. I think I drowned.